Welcome to another episode of Official Naija FPL. And I was not here last week, but I watched everything, and then we
missed you.
He missed you.
I called you up. Yeah.
So we are with. We keep saying this usual suspect. We are with the guys, and we have
Agwoturumbe.
So
Prof Oskie every day.
yeah, stick that boy.
We're going to start. I mean, there's some constant that seem to be happening in the Premier League now, and one of them is Chelsea sliding. I watched the last episode
Slide.
Yeah, and I watched last episode and Prof said we'll be back next week and Chelsea would have lost
again. Yeah. And on that note, we're going to say bye to you guys, and I'm sure by this time next week Chelsea would have lost again. Thank you very much.
I hold the party shots.
Shots.
So I want to what's going on?
And he's still
Me
he's
again.
still repping his Chelsea.
We have
jersey.
to. We have to.
You know, I'm actually even proud
Because
of.
I want. You know what I want? I want you to talk as if you are talking to whoever in Chelsea.
guys,
team
see.
and Yandy.
I mean,
You know what I'm actually.
I said this.
You know what I'm actually impressed with Chelsea.
With Chelsea.
Impressed
You
with
know,
Chelsea.
yeah. When a man can't improve, he should do everything not to fall. Right? Chelsea has held on to that 10th position.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We should- I mean, like,
Are you sure
We've said this.
I want to hear Sticky. Sticky. Let's
honestly, man, there's not much to say. I think is way.
Do you think his selections? Do you think the
Funny
selections
how
are?
they're still backing him up. Yeah.
Do you think the selections have let him down? Do you think the players have let him down? Modric is not looking the player he did in.
Ultimately,
He didn't even
selections.
start Modric in the game.
But even when he did come on,
the
he
players,
lost.
He tried.
We said
now.
this thing.
He had the
I
shots
said this
on
thing
target.
already. I mean, I think it's way past time.
Potter leaves.
Potter left. I mean, so. I don't
So
know.
basically, you're just saying when Potter leaves, everything goes back to normal.
Funny.
Oh, well.
So here's the thing.
Sticky,
Now I
trust the
don't
process.
really. Yeah. I'm see. So here's the thing. I'm trusting the Chelsea process. Trusting
not
the
the Potter
Chelsea process does not necessarily mean it has to be Potter. Okay, if they're backing him up, which they are doing now, if they're backing him up, then there's nothing
I
we
asked
can
a
do about
question.
it.
If you bring
other
a
than
new
to leave
coach, would a new coach want
His own type
new
of players.
Which brings me back to what I just said now. Whether he leaves or he doesn't leave, we have a process that we're trying to trust. Okay, so it still boils down to timing. Bringing a new coach now doesn't necessarily mean the problem will be solved. But yes, does Potter have faults in his selections? Yes, I think there are better ways to handpick these guys. But I mean,
So where do
We
you think the
can rant-
problem
we can-
One
is?
we can rant on and on
I actually disagree with Sticky a little, and I kind of said it on the last episode, right? We need to be. There's reality in these things. Did Chelsea buy players who have arrived in their careers? Do you know what I mean? I don't think we should put a lot of fault on Potter, right? You bought players who are prospects. The only reason we're having this discussion here is because of the prices they bought the players for, which is not exactly their fault, right? But these players are not players that have landed even in their former teams or in world football.
Well, there are players that
So,
they were bought for with his consent now.
Prof
No, no,
Oskie,
no.
But none of them
Prof
are.
Prof
But
Oskie.
you get where I'm coming from.
Experience.
Yeah.
The only
Guys,
person.
guys.
But this is the thing.
Were we
And-
not winning before we bought these players? Didn't we have a team before we bought these
No,
players?
that's my point. I don't know about winning because this is the thing about that process in which you're saying that we should trust, or you trust the process, and you're blaming Potter
I'm
because
not
you have to.
necessarily blaming Potter.
Well, it seems so because you're saying as if Potter leaves, the thing will change.
is-
no.
But- and I look at it, I
You
said,
didn't get
but
what I
if-
said. I said whether he leaves or he doesn't leave, we have to just trust the process. It doesn't necessarily
now
mean
let's
that
look at
when
that
he leaves,
process. Now that's what I'm saying. Now
things will definitely
I
just
think
change.
my personal belief is that the process that you people are on is flawed. Now you have some American owners saying that they want to use some of American systems. They came in and they have, they took out a coach that was obviously doing well, that had won the Champions League for you and
Taking
taking you
us
to
to,
Champions
like
League.
5 different finals.
Do you get
He had
so?
2 or 3 bad games.
Yeah, and then he had a couple of bad games, refused the players that you wanted to bring in,
Impose on
right? And then you sacked him. Now, what has now happened is that you have now brought in this new guy, right? And told him that, okay, no, we'll build around you and da. So he's gone and going to go get some young guys and whatever. So the process now means that he has to grow with these guys. And like Oscar said, none of these guys were cooked. So you are now having a situation whereby Aubameyang that you brought in that was cooked,
uncooked,
right? You have kept him on the bench.
Was cooked and
It's not cool.
soggy.
Aubameyang now done the spoil.
Soggy.
He done the spoil for bench.
You don't sour.
That's how you get.
No, but when you bought him, but you look at it. This time last year, I saw a quote stats that this time last year, Aubameyang has scored his 3rd hat trick in the 4th league, right? And he did pretty well in Barcelona in half a season last year. So the truth is, you can't say that he's a finished player, but you bring him in and you don't play him. Sterling, okay, you can say he's injured, but he's back now and he's sitting on the bench. So a lot of your old players.
He started the last game now. Sterling started the last game.
No, I'm not saying that a lot of your old players.
So we've had injury problems.
ZH that you try to loan out.
So if you say this,
Wait, let me just say this one.
You're agreeing with him then, no?
No, and my point is that the process.
Because what you're explaining right now is the Potter fault.
No, I don't even think it's a Potter fault. I think it's a whole system. And then, unfortunately, Potter is the fall guy. Because you have a situation whereby, what's Potter supposed to do? Right? They have told him that I want to build these young players around you. You have time, do this thing, right? And he's building Chelsea. It. Now, the old guys, right? No, let's look at it. Let's look at someone like
but it's a similar
ZH.
approach.
Wait, I want to say something. ZH wanted to leave. You people were going to loan him out. But because your photocopy machine no work or something like that, this paperwork didn't go. Then what happened?
Which is a total, Chelsea
thing.
There was a theory that it was a self-plan.
Then you start him the next game. It makes me start looking, wait, what process are you people have? Like, you start him, he didn't even come off the bench. He started the very next game. Man, when he was just about to leave.
I was confused myself. I'm like, okay.
I'm confused in what's going on.
And he played in the Champions League, and I'm like, okay.
You're just trying to tell him sorry. Sorry for the fuck up.
Let's not give this.
So we have talked about Chelsea enough because I mean they are in lower half of the season. I just want to know, Sha. You're down there, Sha. Let's talk about people. Let's talk about people. Let's talk about the title.
Relevant people, right?
No, let's just talk about the title race. Let's talk about the title race. A couple of things happened. The lead shifted again this week, and dramatically, you can say, yeah. I mean, Arsenal. Wow, that 2 goals in the 90th minute in extra time was or in added time was dramatic as come, and then Man City drawing to Nottingham. I don't think that thing cost many people tickets. As in, I'll come to you. No. What do you think is happening in the title race? What's going on? Is it that Man City can't just...
It's all about the Premiership now. They say that's why it's the best league in the world.
Speak to the mic. Lick it.
That's why it's the best league in the world. Expect the unexpected at all times.
Is that what you feel is bringing this kind of drama?
Then people have failed to realize that someone is sneaking in. Manu.
I'm going to bring that in, but I want us to just talk about the top first. What do you think is? I mean, City normally they enter this gear and they just move.
So
What's
again, in my head, I feel like
there's a small blip now.
A lot of people overanalyze these things, right? I don't think City went on a lesser gear in the game against Nottingham Forest.
They were just unlucky.
I always feel like in football, you can have everything to plan, but there's still that bit of luck, right? You see like the 2 chances Halland missed in one span, right? City almost put Nottingham Forest in the ground. They had a lot of chances. You see the stats in that game,
23 shots.
The possession, everything, but the goals just didn't come, right? And from nowhere, Wood just comes in and has that chance.
Yeah. I want to add.
I don't think it was a City team that didn't play well.
Did you see Henry's analysis on what's wrong with the City team?
I didn't say that.
I'm hoping that maybe we can cue it up in when we are doing the video. But Henry's basically said that part of what is wrong with the City team is Halland.
This is something that I wanted to mention about the big man. We all know. You put the ball in the box, you feed him, you're dead. In the air, on the ground, Karate Kid move, whatever it is, he will score. But there is one piece of advice that Arsene Wenger gave me when I was playing for Arsenal and always stayed with me. What can you do when your team is not feeding you? We all know that when Kevin De Bruyne has the ball, Kevin can find him in anywhere, anyhow. And we all know he likes to make that second post move. So Arsene told me, ask yourself the right question. When I was a striker, I used to complain about everything, right? Always. So he doesn't give me the ball. And the boss said, do you think Dennis Bergkamp can give you the ball the same way that Fredrik Lundberg does? So I started to think, okay, with Dennis, I knew I could move however I wanted to move. Then I started to think, Robert Pires likes a 1-2. I need to come with him short. Fredrik Lundberg, I need to be in his path the way he runs, because if not, he will not see me. I started to think, how can I enhance the skills of the player instead of showing his weaknesses? So, for example, Kevin, you can make that, but maybe Bernardo Silva, you have to come short. He likes a 1-2. And I think sometimes Halland is making the same run. Whoever is on the ball is making that run. And I don't think sometimes he does help the team in terms of who is on the ball.
It might seem counterintuitive because Halland is scoring a lot of goals, but one, it makes City a lot more predictable.
Because you have to be direct.
Yes, they're a lot more direct. The way they play is changed. He's even saying that they might even have to adapt to this new way of playing, right? And the players haven't completely adjusted to this new way of playing. So what happens is, where City would, at that kind of game, City would drag you left, right, and they did this thing. However, the quality of chances they got, right, and the quality of chances they've been getting, it's just that Halland is a machine. Like he said, Henry said he can karate kick the ball, put the ball anywhere in that box, he would do it and score, right? But what's happening is that in the other days where somebody Aguero would move outside and then pass the ball.
They're easier to defend against when they're playing without the false nine that they usually play with.
Because the false nine moves.
Yeah, it's not predictable. It's unpredictable.
Exactly. So, and it's ironic that because we always abuse City for not having a nine, saying that that's the reason why they haven't done that level in Champions League, but then now they now have probably the best nine in the modern football, and it seems to have taken a bit of their game.
But the wrong type of nine, because Halland is a traditional striker. Just sits there and waits for the ball in the box.
But that's the nine that, everybody's doing now.
It doesn't suit their type of game. Halland was available, that's why they went for him.
No, but the thing is, if you look at what other nines you want to get, if you look at any other nine, it will seemingly be a false nine kind of. Even Kane, right? Kane's best kind of football
Kane
now
suits their game more.
I think so. However,
Kane is like a hybrid nine, like Benzema.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. It's almost like a false nine kind of nine. It's not that 9-9 that we kept striving for City. But so I think, and I think that if you look at some games when he benched Halland, or not benched or brought out Halland and put Alvarez and Mahrez and this guy,
there's more fluidity.
They were tearing people apart.
So I was going to say something briefly, and I don't know, I'm surprised why I see most of the times when City are struggling to get goals, they still keep Halland. I would expect that, maybe after like 60, 65, 70 minutes, and there's still a goal up, probably take him off, bring in Alvarez, I think that will readjust.
I saw the way he even changed. The Tottenham game, right? He mixed it up in the second half, and we saw, he brought in Alvarez and he scored 4 goals in the second half.
Because Alvarez is a more flexible player. He's a good finisher. He can link up. He can come inside.
Maybe there's something in Halland's contract that he has to play. But while we're talking about Manchester, there's the red side of Manchester, the Devils.
I don't think you can bench Halland.
That's what maybe there's something in the contract that says play me when I'm fit.
Not the contract. You can't bench Halland.
Even FPL managers are finding hard to bench Halland.
I'm telling you.
I swear, giving captain has been blanked how many years? Yes, people are thinking of captaining him again.
No, not this week.
So we'll get to captains in a week bit. But let's talk about Man U. Quietly, Man U have been doing their business, right? They're 3 points or 2 points behind City at the moment.
49 points.
Bond, I don't think we can talk about United without doing like this.
You have to.
I can't be caught.
Rashidi.
No, but no, you have seen Saka do it all the time.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think about Man U's chances?
analyzing Man U, I think they're getting stronger by every game, even beyond the EPL. The way they played against Barcelona,
Yep.
it was quite awesome. Rashford is in the form of his life.
Yep.
Bruno is doing well again. I mean, I like to just put this in. It's very obvious that some of those players were stunted when Cristiano Ronaldo was there. And in Cristiano Ronaldo's exit, Bruno is back, Rashford is back, and some few people are doing well, right? But I also think like every team is going to have their patch. And Man U, since the comeback from the World Cup, has been on a great run. I think it's only Arsenal.
I saw, and in fact, Man U has the best amount of points, for a while now. But the thing about it is, let's also look at the fixtures in which I've had in the last, say, 12 games, right? They're probably the toughest 2 games they've played in the last 12 to 13, Arsenal and City,
Yep.
right? And they won one, which is the City one, which we all talk about. They lost the Arsenal game, but if every other game we expect them to. Of course, we know. Of course, I mean with Nottingham, there's no easy game, but it's games that we expected them.
It's not expected. Arsenal lost points to Brentford, lost points to Everton.
Yep.
Do you understand? So
City.
no matter Chelsea lost points to the least team in the league, right? Clearly put, and
don't mention Chelsea in this situation.
Okay,
please.
Okay, but
It would scatter every point. There will be no
You're
logic.
just trying to
Okay, I'll
buttress
just-
the
okay,
point that no game is easy.
okay. I mean, okay.
I understand, come on.
I'll stick to
When
better
middle
teams.
mid-table teams play together,
Yeah,
what do you
I'll
expect?
stick to better teams, right? But truth be told, right? Man U has been in mad form, and the reason why I went out of the EPL to call the Barcelona match is not just about the scoreline against Barcelona, but about how they played, right, and everything. And we had a discussion here when we spoke about the best DMs in the league: Casemiro, Partey, and Rodri.
Rodri, yeah.
I think we should start to agree that clearly Man U's main spine is Casemiro,
It's clear.
and he's majorly like the best in the league right now.
Yep.
And Man U's chances, I think they're now in the title race, right? I think if City is not careful, Man U will topple them.
Yep.
If Arsenal is not careful, because just 6 points that separates the Man U and the first Arsenal.
Yeah, I
6
know. I mean,
points.
it's City first before Arsenal.
So
They will catch somebody first.
Yeah.
I
So-
mean, I like you said,
when you have a player like Rashford in the form of his life, their spine,
they're definitely in the title race. They're
Casemiro
definitely. I mean,
doing
if you
very
look at,
well.
they're definitely in title race. That's what. But however, I don't know, man. Let's take a break. And we're back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content, give, everyone, because just share it, man. Let us get bigger than we did. And shout out.
ONFPL.
Yes, let's shout out to ONFPL. Shout out to the winners of this week. These guys, I mean, I'm even happy that they didn't even reach 100 this week, because sometimes these people just make me look as if I'm not doing anything.
What
The highest was 84.
84.
It's still almost like 30 something points higher than where I am, but wow. So shout out to this week's winners: Jazzy FC, Lil Dawg, and Ayam BornReady. I like that name, by the way. Ayam is AY, AYAM. Anyway,
Ayam the yam that I
BornReady.
am.
So that's first, second, and third. I mean, these guys, shit, they're doing well every week. And if you really think you're bad like that, and you live in Nigeria, because a lot of you foreign people, you're not allowed. You live in Nigeria. Come and join us at the largest Nigerian community, probably Africa, of FPL managers, and test your muscle, test your might. Let me see what you
Test
got.
your skill.
You get me?
test
So,
your knowledge of the game.
So let's get into FPL this week. First of all, I mean, Sticky, your Jazzman is
Sticky the
coming
Wizard.
through.
I hope that Jazz will extend to Chelsea and
Look, let me even just give context.
Chelsea.
He captained Saka, and with the blank of the animal alien everybody else, just
Rashford. Rashford.
Rashidi actually.
Rashford.
Rashford. You okay? Yeah.
Rashford had 2 goals.
It was
I think 2 bonus points or something.
Yeah.
And he said it the game week before that he was confident that he was going to captain Rashford. Anybody taking another captain choice beyond Halland, we should always give the person kudos, right?
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Maybe the universe just
I don't have kudos.
compensating for all the loss.
Yeah, I don't have kudos in my pocket.
I just realized that if you did not make that captain choice, probably would have had 20-something points this week.
Yeah, it would have been horrible.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's
Rashford
get.
was my vice captain.
What
So
did you get?
basically,
What
I
did you
mean,
get?
so the highlights. Let's even just
15
talk
points
about
or
the highlights or nothing. So it was Rashford. We had Rashford, and we had Saka did all right, but
Yeah, Saka.
Rashford was probably the main scorer, let's say, and then so a couple of guys that did okay. They're not a lot of clean sheets, but you had what's his name from Brighton,
Estopinian.
fantastic differential.
I spoke about him last week, right?
Yeah.
So he thinks Brighton actually considered, right?
I was
But
lucky enough
But he had
to
left before.
Yeah, he left at the 61st minute.
something like
I
that.
saw it and I thought,
68
wow.
or 62nd, 62nd or so, yeah.
61st or 62nd minute. I just thought, no. This is what was that? Anyway, let's talk about this week's fixtures. We have some blanks and we have some double game weeks. So it's a very complex, a lot of strategy that needs to come into this game week. You can be left behind just this game week. Oscar, give us some tips.
Okay, some game weeks ago, we analyzed that people should start to do away with some of their Newcastle and Manchester United players, because apparently a couple of people had their double and
Newcastle
tripled
and
up
Man
on
City.
Newcastle and Man United
Man
players,
United.
because a couple of people had doubled or tripled up on both teams, and we realized that in this game week, both teams will not be playing majorly. And apparently Brighton is not playing as well. So if you have all of those players, you realize that you have a lot of players. If you still have them at this point, you realize that you have a lot of players that will not be playing. And so you have to take a lot of hits for you to have a proper team this game week. But if you're one of the few ones who hasn't used the free hits, this is the time to use the free hits, because there are 4 teams that have a double game week. I think you have Arsenal, you have Liverpool, you have Everton, and you have Wolves, right?
Yep.
So this is the time to use the free hits. I know the way the free hit works is that you can choose a different team this week. You will not have no hits, no nothing, no negatives. And then immediately after this game week, what happens is that it reverses back to your former team. So, it's worth having, if there are 4 teams, it's worth having 3 teams from each of the 4 teams and having 12 players. And it means that you easily have 11 players in your starting lineup that would have double game weeks. But of course, there's one player that is more than a double game week. you don't want to be benching Halland because he doesn't have a double game week. So you can have
bench
Halland.
him is daddy.
Oh yeah, try it. I dare you though. I dare you.
I think it's what the risk.
I dare you. I dare both of you. I dare both of you double game week.
I'm going to bench him.
Who's City playing?
I'm going to bench him. I'm going to bench him.
Who's City playing?
Bench him, captain.
Bournemouth.
Captain.
They're playing Bournemouth. Now that's the reason. Because Bournemouth they collect, but Bournemouth too have been tight recently. So it's about we've got your. So you're saying the tip for this week is free hits.
Free hits.
It's free hits.
So I want to ask Sticky, because Sticky, are you using your free hits? Why this time man now?
Sticky doesn't like to hit free.
Oh wow! So I'll love to use my free hits.
What are we talking about now?
That's what she said.
But I have 2 free transfers, and by the looks of it, if I use my free transfers, I'll still have 2 players that would, be blank. So I'm still thinking about it, whether to use my free hits or just have.
No need. You can use it later on.
I think you should use it later on. Not for you guys.
Yeah, I've not yet decided on that.
What if?
For me, no
Free hit would
too
be
much
nice
thought
one.
about it. You have to use it now. I have it, so
If you have it, use it.
I'll use it, and I need points. Man. I need points.
Yeah, you do need points.
I think
I need points.
We all know you need
so,
points.
yeah.
I think you should use what you got to get what you want.
Already, I have an idea of how my free hit is going to be.
On that note, I think I'll use my free hits.
Pile
Yeah.
up on Arsenal and Liverpool players.
So Liverpool
forward
players. So since we're doing about free hits, and we all because I'm going to use my free hits. So since we have 3 people using free hits, let's talk about that a bit. I've not touched Liverpool players since Salah burnt us early in the season.
I think somebody spoke about
Who are the Liverpool players to go for?
Salah, Nunes, Trent.
Salah, Nunes, Trent.
Yeah.
Salah and Trent, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so one shot
But
person.
Salah has not been scoring.
I mean, one shot. He has.
Salah,
I mean, he
he has
scored.
been scoring and
He
assisting
scored assists
recently.
and scored in the Champions League and everything. But
His goal was shite.
Salah definitely, right? Then defense line, I would always take Trent above Robinson because Trent has the highest for a defender. He has the highest goal involvement, and when I mean goal involvement, I mean like chances created for a defender, right? That's what I mean. Chances created, not goal involvement. He has the highest, and Trippier is second to him, even in his bad season, right? So I would say Trent, I would say Salah, and then in front it'll be one of Nunes or Gakpo. Nunes is raw. Nunes is raw. There's nothing refined about Nunes. Do you understand? But the amount of chances and XGs that he has, expected goals, is high.
I hate that XG thing, but yeah.
No, his XG is high, so I mean.
Okay. So for me, let's not be as if I didn't,
Assuming
try and give you guys a tip of the week again. Trent, I'm looking at Trent and a differential in Jota.
Jota.
Yeah. So
sure he's going to start.
Jota is
Just came
is
back from injury now.
and the Jota I know, usually picks up form after a couple of games, and I feel like he has had a few game times.
I even in the game yesterday.
Jota.
Jota down now.
Even in the Champions League.
I don't think.
Even in
I
Champions
don't
League,
think
let me
Klopp
just say, even in Champions League, I was looking at when would Jota come in, right?
Yeah.
And he did play all right when he came on. The thing is, what's his level of fitness? With the, it's a double game week. How much would he play? I know that Jota will play, right? But he might come on 20 minutes on both games, and the game might be over by the time he comes on. So, those are the things that I'm wondering. That look, Jota will play. And Jota is
how much game time will he get?
How much game time will he get? And this thing. But let's even leave those these things
risky,
because the truth about it is we have 2 other teams that we'll have to put in your free hits, which is Everton and Wolves.
Us now.
No, we know. And let's look at that. Yeah, let's look at the players from those teams that we can look at in Everton and in Wolves.
I'm looking at Coleman, Pickford. Sentimental reasons, maybe Iwobi in midfield.
Iwobi has been. I mean, he gave an assist. In the last game, he seems to be the.
I think I'll
creative.
I'll pick more Everton players than Wolves players from
for
Everton.
me, the players have been on my watch list. Mykolenko, Demarai Gray.
Gray has not been starting games
what's that guy's name? Tarkowski. What's that guy's name?
Tarkowski.
Yeah, Tarkowski for Everton. I'm not sure about Wolves now because they seem to be doing better, but they're not scoring a whole lot of goals.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure about Neto and these guys. And so, I mean, Prof, it seems like you are going through your this thing.
No, so for Everton, because of how it is, you have to always also watch what formation you want to play. So if you're thinking about playing like a 3-man defense, then you know that you already have Pickford is who I think will be the majority goalkeeper. But when you're playing a 3-man defense, you know that most teams are going to have Trent on this free hits, right? Yep. So are you picking the other 2 from Wolves and Arsenal and Everton, right? Those are the kind of questions you ask. So you already have some people who have Ben White, and they might put him in that defense. So you now have one more person. Is that defender going to come from, or 2 more, however? But if it's going to come from Everton, then it would have to be one of Coleman or Tarkowski. Tarkowski in recent times has been creating more points than Coleman, but Coleman has also created points over time. Then you now go to midfield. In your midfield, we almost know that most teams will have but like the same kind of players in midfield. You're going to probably have like a Saka and Odegaard because they double game week, and you have a Salah, right? So where are your other two players going to come from? Are they going to come from another? Nobody's going to double up on a Liverpool midfield, right? So is it going to come from Wolves or from Everton? If it's going to come from Wolves, people are looking at people like Neves. There's this new boy that is in the team now. His name starts from S. Sabrina or something. You get, he's actually also very good. Tip, I have him in my team as well, and I know he'll do well, right? So you already have Odegaard, Salah, and Saka. You're looking for maybe one more person because people are going to triple up on 3 forwards, right? So looking for one more person. So that midfield will most likely come from Wolves and not Everton.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because you'll be more comfortable. No, you'll be more comfortable with a Wolves midfielder.
Why?
Everton scores less one. Do you understand? The Wolves, Neves and as in fantasy points, they've done better.
Neves, Neto,
right? Neto, pro sense or Prudence,
yeah.
and everything. Then the Sabi, whatever guy are called. Then you now have the 3 forwards, right? In the 3 forwards, I'm deaf sure that people were gonna have Nketiah.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Sure, he's already my
Halland
He's
is
my
like,
captain now.
Yeah, Halland is like a mainstay.
Nah, let him sit on the bench. Let him
Right? And
stay out of the game.
Okay,
This week.
for most people,
For
yeah.
me.
And then the third forward will most likely be a Liverpool player again. You know, we've talked about Nunes and everything.
yeah.
So we can call a lot of players, but the truth is, how many can you fit into the team?
True.
Yeah, and you must not forget that a lot of these players are playing themselves anyway in the second game.
Yeah.
So if you are banking on someone to give you clean sheets and then you're banking for the other guy to score, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's take a break and we'll be right back. And we're back. Again, please, I'm going to say it. Make sure you like. This is by force. You must like, subscribe, send it to your neighbor, send it to your best friend, all that good stuff. Anyway, the final part of it, I want to just talk about briefly form, mentality, the psychological side of football. We saw with Arsenal, right, where, against Everton and against Brentford, they just seemed out of sorts. And even the first half against
City. City.
Yeah, and it, picked it up. No, even against it. I'm talking about the first half against Aston Villa. Okay. So it seemed out of sorts, and then it just seemed to pick it up later on. What do you think about how form and mentality, in football?
So I'll use the Arsenal game for instance. We didn't go into that game in form, so it wasn't form that helped us in that game, right?
Sheer resilience, patience.
But in every team, I mean, mentality. When they say like you're a mental animal, like you have a great mentality, right? You just need a few players in the team to have that mentality, and other players will live off it, right? So, for instance, in Arsenal, for instance, I think that one player is Zinchenko, right? In Manchester United, for me, I think the player is between Casemiro and Martinez, right? So you kind of have them in every team.
No, but what I'm trying to bring out is so yes, I mean, look at Liverpool, right? Liverpool have had high mentality for the last couple of seasons. Now, with a lot of the same players, right, they don't seem to be creating that. Then you look at the first couple of minutes against Real Madrid in Champions League, and you could see that mentality back again. And then once they got equalized, you could see the mentality drop again. So, what, is it a manager's job? Is it just something that comes and blows? Does form just, is it training that makes it like Rashford now is hot? Is it that he's fucking different, or what makes someone
it's a mixture of everything. It's a mixture of character. It's a mixture of patience, believing in yourself, believing in the coach, and trusting the process.
Anyway, I'm going to believe in all this. Do you have anything to add to all this?
No, he might not have.
There's no mentality.
He might not have.
It's low.
And in everything, luck plays a large role. Like the goal against Aston Villa. Who would have thought Jorginho would take that shot?
Well, who would have
Yeah,
thought
so
that
much for-
Martinez would head it backwards?
So luck has a lot to play.
You know, but I'm even
with.
talking about the luck of, I'm even just talking about, when player switches on, you can tell when the team is switched on. You could tell with
Yeah.
Arsenal in that couple of games, you just see that they're not the same mentality or they're not playing with the same hunger that they played a couple of games away. And you can see Manu,
the confidence
you know,
level are
playing-
dropped now after
So
dropping points.
So my point
it's
being,
normal.
yeah, how hard is? The manager, is it the manager? Is it the players? Is it the air? Is it the water that they drink?
Sometimes it's built, then there's a run, and as long as the run is positive, then the mindset continues to grow. But once there's a poof, that is the best time to measure mentality. Mentality is not best measured during the run, but during the poof. Before Bon closes up, yeah, I purposely wore this jersey on this episode because on the weekend I don't just wish you luck in fantasy, I wish you luck at the polls. That's from me.
That's a patriotic.
That's actually very true. We haven't
Nigerian.
didn't think about it.
Yeah.
While this game week is going on, Nigerians are going to be at the polls, so guys, be safe.
Go and cast
Go and
your
vote.
vote.
So
Make sure you
vote your
vote.
heart. Don't let somebody pay your votes. Pay you for your votes. Do what you need to do in your
Whether
heart.
it's Ashiwaju, BAT, Kwankwaso, or Atiku, make sure you vote.
I just noticed that you called Ashiwaju and BAT. Anyway,
And you might be lucky, your heart might be in your pocket.
so anyway, please, till we see you next week.
Next week,
It's us.
it's us. Peace and out.